the fact is he's effectively an Australian, except for a piece of paper. He's been a permanent status citizen, as opposed to an Australian citizen, since the age of 12 years of age. He's approaching 44 years in this country uninterrupted. His country is Australia. We've got to own our people and the people that we bring up their form and content. He's got 6 Australian-born children. 3 of them are descendants of the First Peoples of this continent, but he's got 6 Australian-bred and born children. He's got grandchildren. He's got a sister born in Australia. He's got another sister who's an Australian citizen, a mother who's an Australian citizen, a father who's an Australian citizen, and he's got a child who's waited 5 years to see her father since he was being incarcerated. He's only had 1 carceral sentence. We are now character assassinating individuals with 1 carceral sentence, and that's a question in itself. And he should be with his family. His 21-year-old daughter is keen to have him at her birthday party for her 21st in June. The family's devastated. We can't be deporting people who, and the remit has got so wide, the catch net has got so wide, the laws are being reformed in draconian terms year after year now for quite a while, and the catchment has become so wide we're now demonising people with 1 carceral sentence. I
do want to bring in this idea of Direction 99. Now, there's been a lot of debate about this recently, about a directive from a minister requiring decision makers, including the AAT, to assess the strength, duration and nature of a person's ties to Australia before they can be deported. And what that means is that there have been several people who've committed serious criminal offences, including murder, who've managed to use that ministerial direction to stay here in Australia. There's a perception here that these people who are assessed to be of ill character are a risk to the Australian community. Does that apply in this case?
Well, it should apply to no one, if I may say, in no uncertain terms. But in terms of Mr. Pakrika, in terms of Stephen, he wasn't actually considered at the administrative tribunal under section or Direction 99. He was, because he's been a few years before while he was actually incarcerated, and he appealed quite early in the piece, which is an unusual practice, when they actually informed him that his permanent status visa had been cancelled, and he was looking for a revocation of that cancellation. He appealed to the tribunal under Section 79 or Direction 79 at that time. So he's never had the opportunity to appeal under Direction 99, because you don't get another shot at the appeals tribunal, even though we've changed it to Direction 99 since January of last year.
How do you counter the public perception that people who've been convicted and allowed to stay in Australia, when they're considered for deportation, that they are a risk to Australians who live here?
They aren't a risk to Australia. They become a risk if they're committing a crime, yes, I understand that. But when they're actually completed a sentence, they've completed their court-ordered sentence, as the magistrate or judge deemed at the time. We're actually acting extrajudicially. We can't be doing that. They've gone to the Prisoner Review Board, which is a difficult bunch to deal with, who are very harsh, and who actually, if they consider someone a risk issue, put post-sentence supervision orders in. If they've got through the Prisoner Review Board, then they should be given the opportunity of release and support. That's the society we need to be. I understand that some crimes are depraved and some crimes are of the most heinous nature, and individuals with a short stay in this country should be considered for deportation. I'm not actually arguing against them, but I am arguing against this presumption that we've conflated all individuals, people with 1 carceral sentence with a couple of carceral sentences, low-level offending, and we've aggregated them all instead of disaggregating them and actually allowing the majority of them to continue on with their lives. So how we're actually acting in this country is draconian, is amongst the world's worst premises, is in contravention to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and in contravention to human rights conventions of the United Nations.